Hey, what's up everybody? It's about 7:53 on this Tuesday morning, 2 days after Easter. And I want to talk about something. You know, lately, ever since Brock Lesnar made his return to WWE last week, there's been a lot of fans that have been kind of divided. Some fans on one side enjoy the fact that Brock Lesnar is back. It's the next big thing. The man beast, or the manster, or whatever you want to call him, is back in WWE. They all love the fact that he F5'd John Cena and he's starting with John Cena. However, I'm pretty sure they don't like the fact that on screen, in story-wise, he has to be associated with John Laurinaitis and this whole thing going now about legitimacy. Now, I don't know where they're going to go with this legitimacy. I don't know if they're meaning, by the way, it's got to be a legit deal. We got to have legitness. We got to have realism. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know where they're going with it. But I can say this. I'm actually happy Brock's back, because what it's going to do for WWE, and I'm sure they know this is going to happen, it's going to bring in some old fans and bring in some new fans. And those new fans that WWE brings in are going to be UFC fans. And UFC fans are going to see exactly why Brock was such a big deal in WWE before he went to MMA. Now, here's the thing though. A lot of people, on the other hand, are not happy that Brock's back. Well, they are happy, but they're not happy that he's being shot up to the top right off the bat, just like The Rock was. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that WWE's brought in people like Rock and Brock, and are shooting them straight to the top, putting them in main event situations and feuds, when you have this entire roster of superstars like The Miz, like a Randy Orton. Yes, even Randy gets put in that situation, even though he's been in main events. But you got people like The Miz, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Big Show, who's had his share of main events, but not many. You got Lord Tensai now, who's being pushed, but is being put to the wayside. I mean, you have all these situations, all these superstars, even Alex Riley, who has a lot of potential. Yoshitatsu. You got, guys like Santino. Even David Otunga. Swagger and Ziggler. Mark Henry. And even your WWE champion, CM Punk, and your world champion, Sheamus. Your former world champion, Daniel Bryan, the guy you bring in who's currently in a feud with CM Punk, Chris Jericho, the guy that's going to probably be put in a triple threat Extreme Rules match of some kind at Extreme Rules with Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio. You're bringing all these, you got all this entire roster, including a guy that's being brought up now, one of the first ones that people have talked about, from FCW, Damien Sandow. And yet, a lot of people, and yet because of this, you have a lot of people upset that you got that entire roster, and yet you're pushing that entire roster of potential main eventers and future WWE and world champions aside, and you're putting in the spots that they should earn and get in the future, you're putting Brock and Rock. I'll give you an example of what I mean, of why one side likes this and one side doesn't. An example is the current card that they got planned out. The planned. It's not set in stone, but it's what they're aiming for next year's WrestleMania. The main event, the WWE Championship main event match they've got advertised is Brock challenging Rock. That's right. Apparently WWE is going to try their best to follow through on Rock winning this WWE Championship. And by doing so, they'll have Rock facing Brock in a rematch that I guess is what? 8 years, 9 years, which is what, 11 years in the making? If that's the case, they should have it this year, because that'd be 10 years. Well, we're not WWE, remember? And that's why some fans are not happy about it. But again, like I said, there are those that are happy. And the reason they're happy is because these are the fans that are happy that people like Rock and Brock are being brought back are real simple. It's real simple. It's because what it's doing for WWE, what WWE is doing, is they're bringing these guys back, and they know if they bring back Brock, it's going to bring in fans of Lesnar that followed Lesnar to UFC that are now going to follow him back, along with the new fans that he got when he was in UFC. It's going to bring them in. And then you got The Rock, who was one of the main faces of the Attitude Era. He brought back a lot of the Attitude Era fans, and a lot of the fans he made when he was making movies. He brought them in, and that's why a lot of people were happy. You take a look at that crowd in Miami. And here's the thing. Everybody says that was an Attitude Era-like crowd. Even Damian Nelson on the PWR show jokingly suggested to WWE, hire that crowd and bring them with you all the time. Because that was an Attitude Era-like crowd. And I'm sure if you're a fan of the Attitude Era and you're sitting there and you're watching that, you're thinking, yeah, that's the WWE I remember. That's the kind of Monday Night Raw I remember. And you see someone in WWE obviously was listening, and they realized, you know what? Maybe if we incorporate a bit of Attitude Era-ish kind of like storyline and character, we'll get back on track in some way. We might get the fans interested. And then of course you bring in Brock, who was brought in towards the end of the Attitude Era, or in the mid to final years of the Attitude Era, which incidentally, if you're watching, actually ended around 2007. As soon as Vince McMahon took over ECW, that's when it kind of ended. It didn't end before that, it ended in 2007. How do I know? Because after John Cena's fight with Umaga, that's when things kind of started to die down. But again, I digress. But what I'm saying, though, is that you're bringing these people back after years being away, and it's bringing back a lot of these old fans. Now, some people will say it's because WWE has no confidence in the superstars that I listed, or any confidence in those they're going to try to bring up from the developmental system. And that might be true, but then again, if that is true, you can't blame WWE. You got to blame the person that is not bringing up these individuals right away, and as much as I hate to say it, that's Triple H. And I'm a Triple H fan. I am a Triple H fan. I like the game. I do. You know, I liked Triple H when he was a bad guy, when he was a heel. I like the guy. But the fact of the matter is, you want to put the blame on somebody, put it on the institution he put down, on the stipulation he put on the fact that he doesn't want to bring anybody up until they've got a good gimmick. And that's okay, that's a good idea, but that's why you're not getting enough of these people. That's why a lot of people look at it as the fact that WWE has no confidence whatsoever in their entire roster. And that's what some people on one side don't like, the idea of WWE bringing in Rock and Brock and putting them in the main event spot right away, or giving them that top spot right away, because it shows they have no confidence. Instead of saying, okay, Miz, come here. We know you're awesome and everything. We want to give you another run at the WWE Championship. And instead of giving him another shot at being champion again, they're just pushing him aside. Yeah, according to last night on Raw, Laurinaitis has got big plans for him, but what are those plans? Or you got someone like, say, Yoshitatsu. Hey Yoshi, you're an international superstar. We're going to give you a run at the World Heavyweight Championship. You see, you got someone that could get a run at that, or we're going to give you a run at the U.S. Championship. Instead of doing that, what are they doing? Sorry Yoshi, we got to push you to the side. Sorry Miz, we got to push you to the side. We got to make room for Brock and Rock. And that's what people don't like. They don't like the fact that you're just allowing these guys that are not going to be going full time to, to be allowed to push aside those that are full time so they can have the top spots. Well, let me remind you people of something that are against that, and those of you that are for it. You see, I'm not going to lie, I love seeing the fact, I love and enjoy the fact that Brock is back. I've mentioned that. I love and enjoyed the fact that Rock was back. But let me kind of picture you with something. Last night, it's kind of ironic, they had Real Sasso mock Hulk Hogan, or make fun or impersonate Hulk Hogan last night. Some people may have liked that, some people may have not liked it. But let me put it to you like this. When Hogan was brought back in 2002, do you think he worked a full-time schedule? Hell no. Do you think he worked a semi-full schedule? Hell yes. Even when they put the WWE Championship on him, this title, well not this exact belt, but this championship on him, do you think for one instant they didn't realize they're putting the championship on someone that's part-time? Of course they did. But they did it because they wanted to show that they had confidence in Hogan to at least have one more run with the championship, even if it was for 1 month. And of course it was their way of thanking him for coming back and putting aside all his animosity, and at least, putting aside all his animosity, as well as thanking him for contributing what he did for the business and for that company. Because they probably knew after that 2002 return he wasn't going to have another real run with this championship. I mean, they brought him back, after a while, back in 2003, he had a feud with McMahon at Mania. He had a match with Rock at Mania before that. They brought him back, a few years later, 2004, 2005. I had to feud with Michael. They brought him back to feud with Orton. And yeah, he went over them instead of them going over him. But the thing is, despite how you feel, you may think of it as political pull, but it's their way of showing to Hulk that we still have confidence in you to, carry a pay-per-view, to basically, we have confidence in you, basically, that you're going to get over with the crowd no matter who we face you against. We know you're going to make whoever you face look good, whether it's in defeat or loss. And don't think he doesn't put some of the young guys over. He does. I mean, he put Rock over in 2002. He put Brock over in 2002. He put Kurt Angle over in 2002. So don't say he doesn't do that. What I'm trying to say is, and the reason I'm saying this is real simple. If you think if you're complaining at the fact that they're bringing in Rock and Brock and giving them top spots right off the bat, take a look back to between 2002 and 2006. Or 2006. You tell me you don't tell me they didn't do that with Hulk. And I'm a Hulkamaniac. I've been so since I was 5. You tell me that. So that's just my thoughts. You tell me below whether you agree with them or not. Do a video response if you want. OTRS, I ask you if you want to do a video response, go ahead. Do one. I'm asking you. But again, that's all I'm going to say on it. Talk to y'all later.